All right.
All right.
All right. All right. All right.
Alrighty.
I don't know the name of the actor who does that, but like
Matthew McConaughey. How can you not know the all right guy?
because I'm an idiot and I forget the name of every single like important celebrity person that doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's not important. I don't think. Well, he did a cool thing with Uvalde because he's actually from Uvalde, and when it all happened, he went there to, obviously use his celebrity powers. But he also did a press conference with who are those people?
Man.
The White House.
Oh yes, those people. Who are those people? The people at the White House. I don't know.
Yeah,
With him,
like
I
the
just
press.
I have multiple different like images of in my head of him just saying all right, all right, all right in different settings.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he does.
It's like, man, I wish people could just pay me to just say all right 3 times. That sounds like a pretty good gig. It's like there's all right, all right, all right. There's all right, all right, all right in space. There's all right, all right, all right, like in a car, on a farm, in the mafia.
What's it that you would do it in the space, you would do it in a race, you'd do it in a car, you'd do it in a farm.
That is either a Dr. Seuss book or That's What She Said joke.
Oh, it's a Dr. Seuss book.
Okay. We need something to just blab about, don't we? I'm tired.
Yeah.
I have coffee. Did any of you buy anything on Prime Day?
No.
Wait,
No.
Prime Day happened?
Yeah.
I got an email about it, but that's all I know about, to be honest.
I bought shampoo and a coffee grinder.
Solid.
Okay, what kind of coffee grinder?
Hario Mini something. Hario Mini X, I think is the actual like name of it. It's a little hand grinder that's tiny and I can take it camping.
Right, yep, no, I can understand. Like, I was like, is it going to be a blade grinder? Is it going to be one of those, like, I don't like blade grinders.
I had a blade grinder for a couple of years, but my ex took it when she moved out, and then I bought this very cheap hand grinder that I've been using for the past like I don't know, maybe year. But this thing like actually, or 2 years, I guess. This thing actually has like a proper like burr setting, and it's technically a conical burr grinder. It's just a handheld conical burr grinder. You can like replace the burrs if they get like run down for cheap, and it's a like $40 little device. The only issue with it is the same issue that all hand grinders have, which is it takes like 10 minutes to grind your beans. But, you know.
The beautiful thing about that is even in the morning when you're just woken up and you're making your coffee, it's such a slow, repetitive action that you can still have your brain off. You don't need to worry about waking up. You just stir, stir, stir. Is this like the sleepiest podcast that's ever been a thing?
I don't know. I just for some reason feel like I'm not hosting and I'm waiting for Suwey to say something.
Okay, well, the problem I'm not talking is I don't drink coffee. So, like, how can I add to this conversation? I don't know a thing about coffee, and you guys are just going off and...
Well, see,
I'm a tea drinker.
The thing is, you don't need to add to this conversation because this is episode 26 of the Halcyon Frequency podcast, airing 17th of July, 2022. How's that? We're in the show. I'm blind, and I'm hosting, and Suwey's here. Can you say hello, please?
Hello, hello. It is me, Suwey.
Hi, Suwey. Arch is also here. Arch plays stuff. Hi, how are you?
I'm waking up. No, I'm all right. I'm just trying to think of what tea Suwey drinks.
Waking up before you go.
Well, like, now that so I'm in the desert and it's summer, so I'm having a lot of iced tea right now, and honestly, I'm just getting, like, the peach Snapple stuff. I know, it's a lot of sugar. I need to start making my own. But when it's not so hot out, I have a lot of, like, British breakfast blend tea. That's my go-to.
Well, I have a fix for this. If you want to stop drinking Snapple, just do some research on the people who own Snapple.
Wait, is there problems with them?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe don't look it
No.
up, but Snapple's a problem. But when it comes to iced tea, like my go-to always was Arizona iced tea, and then like when it comes to like canned or like pre-packaged, pre-made iced tea, Arizona iced tea was always my go-to. And then they stopped selling it in Canada for like 4 years because apparently it had too high a percentage of urine to pass Canadian food safety laws.
What?
In it. It was something
Wait.
like 0.6% is an acceptable amount of urine to be in a canned beverage or something. Anyway.
Wait. How does urine end up in a canned beverage?
I don't want to ask that question. Anyway, they stopped selling them for a couple of years. Now they're back on sale, and I haven't purchased one again. Although there is a Canadian brand that looks almost exactly the same. That's like the same shape of can that kind of took its place in the interim, and I haven't tried that one. Arch, what have you been drinking?
A lot of Red Bull. No, I
was gonna say it doesn't sound like it.
Hey, give it time to work. No, I've been drinking. I got a blend of rooibos tea, I think it's pronounced, and also a pack of fruit teas. So I've actually been getting into the fruit teas as well.
Ooh.
Because like I love coffee and I love Red Bull, but I don't want to drink it after 6 p.m. So I've been looking for a nice warm drink after 6 p.m. and hot chocolates are a sometimes treat. You don't want to have a hot chocolate every night.
Oh my god. In middle school, I think it was, I had hot chocolate every single day and I started gaining weight so fast.
Golly gee, I wonder why.
It became like a tradition where every day after school, it was really cold out, so I'd go and have some hot chocolate, and then suddenly I'd gained like 10 pounds.
You get your Choccy milk.
Yeah, but right now I'm having Mountain Dew because we bought a bunch of soda and stuff when we were on vacation. Suwey and I just went to LA. We got back a few days ago, and yeah, we bought a lot of drinks and stuff because we were seeing a friend who's from the UK. So we were trying to get like a lot of classic American things that she isn't able to get over in the UK. And yeah, by the way, I don't like LA. The streets feel crammed, crowded, and stressful as heck. I wasn't even driving. Suwey was driving, and I was over there with an elevated heart rate. Like, God, I hate this. Please don't make me ever drive here. So, yeah. I had a great time, though. I got to see my childhood best friend. We got to play a lot of Mario games. So a lot of Mario Party, a lot of Mario Kart.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
There's some Super Smash Bros. Huh?
I'm so sorry that you had to play Mario Party. Are you okay?
I like Mario Party.
Yeah,
Oh God,
Mario
you're one of
Party's
them.
good. Don't hate on Mario Party.
I was one of the people wanting it. Like, I was the person like, hey, we should play Mario Party. So.
Oh God, you are the problem.
What's
Yeah,
with the
I like
Mario
the
Party
minigames.
hate?
It's the worst game ever made, clearly.
Just
No,
because
the
you don't have,
minigames are fun.
just because you don't have people to play it with.
I'm not the only person who
Yeah.
feels this way, Arch.
I like it. It's just a fun little game to play when you have a group of people.
It's just a fun way to ruin friendships.
Although
Seriously.
Mario Kart's more fun in my
Mario
How
opinion.
Kart's
much
a
do you-
phenomenal game.
How much do you care about Mario Party games?
I despise Mario Party.
Enjoy it, dude.
Yeah, it's
good.
great.
I'm not
Even
the only
better when
person who
drunk.
feels this way. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I like it. I also go play Tetris with a friend of mine.
Now that's a
with my
video game.
childhood friend. Yeah, but Tetris 99 only has 2-player, and that's all we have. So, yeah, it's basically you two, and then like it puts a bunch of bots in there too, and you're like fighting against the bots as well. And I felt bad because my friend always got out early, and I was like, I can make them easier, or like we can switch controllers or something partway through. And she just goes, "No, I like watching you play."
Tetris Effect has some pretty great multiplayer. You can.
Ooh, I want
It has up to
that.
4-player multiplayer, I think, and you can like throw blocks into other people's screens. It's pretty fun.
Oh,
But-
I want to play.
Tetris
It's on
should
Game
not
Pass.
be a multiplayer game.
I mean, I agree, but Tetris is also very fun. So if it happens to
Yes.
have another human there, I will decimate them.
Oh no, blind, you and me, we gotta have a Tetris match now.
No. But
What? What? Why?
why? Because I don't
Yeah.
play video games with other humans.
But blind?
Are you paying me?
No?
Then no. Maybe as like some sort of incentive for a charity thing or something, I'll play some Tetris
Oh yeah,
with you.
yeah.
But like,
That's solid.
Tetris. Very good video game. So how does it feel to be getting close to graduating? And being free from the shackles of institution
I
and
don't
education?
feel it yet. I did the last of like my requirements that aren't classwork today, which felt really nice to get those out of the way. I have like I don't know, probably an hour worth of classwork left. And yeah, I'm like a week or two off, and as long as everything's in check, which I think it is, I should have a bachelor's degree by the end of the month. But like there's always that terrifying like feeling of, oh no, what if there's something that I missed somehow and that the advisor missed and I'm not actually going to get my degree. I had to take another class. Like there's that in my brain, just like, what if it just doesn't work out, you know? And I just want the degree already.
Don't worry, you'll be dreaming about like still having one class left or one test left for the next 40 years.
Oh god.
I haven't done any school things since I was 16 when I graduated high school, and I still sometimes wake up going, I need to wait. I haven't been in a school in 15 years. What's wrong with me?
I haven't taken a choir class in like 4 years, and I keep having dreams that I'm at a choir concert and I have no idea what the song is. I do not have like the appropriate dress. Like I'm wearing something super casual. I don't have like, you know, the uniform you perform in, and I'm having to like sight read on stage, and it's terrifying.
Look at you lot having to go to sleep to have anxiety.
Yeah, dude.
Just do it. Just do
like
it
I have
while
anxiety
awake.
when I'm awake.
Yeah, just save it for when you're awake, and then it's fine.
I have it up both times. You just can't escape it, honestly.
This is why I take drugs.
Same. It's gotten so much better. I don't have to stand up and pace anymore. Now I can just sit there.
But we all need
Anyway,
exercise,
I
though.
heard there's a game jam happening around the corner.
Who would do that? That seems silly.
Right when
know.
we're doing ours at the same time? Gosh.
Man. I don't know how to play off that. Yeah, so there's a game jam coming up at the end of this month that we are hosting. You can find links in the description of this podcast as well as like, you know, in our community Discord and on the team's Twitter. It's definitely something that, you know, if you make video games or if you know people who make video games, maybe come hang out, make a game, and maybe we'll play it. Be a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be yelling about this more because it turns out that I'm not very good at social media. So I put out a thing out into the world and then forget about it. So
We should probably, if we can, like link the game jam in this podcast.
yeah, no, it'll be in the description of this podcast, unless something went very wrong. But
Yeah.
today's going to be a pretty hefty day. We've got a lot of news subjects to catch up on. We got an update on last week's news story about Reedpop taking over E3, as well as a whole bunch of different games to talk about. So I think we're going to go to a real quick break here. When we come back, we'll talk about the games that we've been playing this week. How's that sound?
Solid.
Sounds absolutely great.
Fantasticals. We'll be right back.
No? No? Gosh, no, not the... No! No! Yes!
Hey, Arch here. Jess isn't on this podcast, but to hear more of that, go to twitch.tv/WOAHH_Jess to see more. Back to the pod.
And we're back. Once again, this is the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. I'm Blind, and I'm hosting, and I'm joined by Archplay Stuff and Suwey. And we're here to talk about the games that we've been playing this past week. So I know that, Suwey, you were talking about some of that there Nintendo shenanigans. But anything else you've been playing this week?
Yeah. So on stream, my stream back from vacation, I checked out Clanfolk, which I received a review key of, and it's been a pretty good time. Sadly, it is in pretty early access from what I could tell. But I had a really good time. Winter is rough. Have you made it past winter yet, Blind? Because I've heard you've played it a little bit too.
I soared through it. I think like because Clanfolk, right? It's a colonies simulator from MinMax Studios, the people who made Space Pirates and Zombies, which is a studio that's been around or released their first game in 2011, and they've done like 3 early access games over the years, so they have a pretty good track record with completing stuff. And also a studio from my hometown, oddly enough, of Maple Ridge, Canada. But they've been working on Clanfolk for a little bit now, and there's been demos bouncing around. And it is very much it's a Scottish colony builder, right? In like 1300 Scotland, I think, is when it said that it takes place. And it puts in a lot of mechanics that I think a lot of people wanted games like RimWorld to have. You know, you actually have kids. You have family trees, you have a little bit more family politics there, and a lot more mechanics when it comes to things like maintaining tools and seeds and all that sort of stuff. Because I'm an obsessive who plays a lot of Dwarf Fortress, I'm used to a lot of those mechanics, and I found it to be quite easy, actually. So I just kind of powered through winter. I think my biggest complaint about it, as far as getting through winter goes, is just acquiring meat, because I don't think I've ever actually seen an animal in that game. I just kind of zoom out and then select the whole map and hope that they find something to hunt, because it's real hard to see stuff.
Yeah, I really wish that they did have something like RimWorld where it has that, list of animals. I wish that was in Clanfolk, because it's so hard.
Is that in vanilla RimWorld, or is that a mod?
Yeah, it's vanilla.
Okay, I thought that was a mod,
Yeah.
Or maybe it was for a while.
No.
But yeah, no,
Not while I've played.
I think that. I mean, it's very much an Arch. Have you played this at all?
I have not. No, I've seen a couple of you playing it though.
It's an interesting one, because it's got a lot of really neat mechanics kind of under the hood, and it's got a lot of things in it that I think might surprise some people for an early access game. Like I said, everything requires tools, right? Like in order to chop down trees, you need to make axes. In order to till fields, you need a hoe, which is kind of funny because you build the hoe and then you unlock the poop hole. You need toilets, and toilets fertilize the land around it. So there's a lot of mechanics in there that I really like, that I think are really interesting, but there's some organizational stuff in the UX that's clunky, to be nice. They're like, job assigning is needlessly finicky, and this comes from somebody who plays the most finicky game, Dwarf Fortress, right? I personally think that there's some elements to this that are, I would say, a royal pain in the ass to actually play the video game, but there's a lot of potential here, I think.
Yeah, so my problem is I didn't really realize how brutal winter was going to be, so I didn't stockpile food, and it felt like I couldn't get the technology up fast enough. And then I ended up having, like, all of my people starve to death in the winter on my first playthrough. Like, I had one guy left, and I don't know if you can have kids when you only have one person left. Like, if you can have kids with the other neighboring clans or anything. So I just kind of got rid of that run just in case you couldn't. Do you know about how the, like, having kids in the game work?
I have no idea how recruitment works, let alone having kids in the game. Like, there's
Is there recruitment? I couldn't tell if there was recruitment or not, so I just assumed I couldn't get more Clanfolk, so I just made a new playthrough, and so I started on the, like, second option, where you have 2 parents and then a baby, and then you have, like, a ton of sheep, and so we kind of butchered the sheep to make it through winter.
I just kind of broke the economy a little bit. Because you can sell basically everything, and I had 2 neighboring clans that let me sell sticks to them at quite a high price, so I just had a bunch of people working for me. And then because you can hire workers from neighboring clans, and they show up like every other day, and they charge a bit of gold to work, but it's never that expensive. It's like maybe 30 something a day. So as long as you can sell 3 stacks of twigs a week, you're fine. So I was just harvesting all of the sticks and twigs and logs and stuff, and brought in a bunch of workers. So I had like 8 people just like farming my fields and whatnot. And then winter hit, and I just told them all to like leave. You're now fired. Go home. And then we had plenty of food for the winter. And at that point, I was just like, all right, I'm done. I've played this for 6 hours, and then I went and did some other stuff. But like, it's neat. There's a game here. I mean, it reminds me very much of like RimWorld when it first went into early access, where it was like kind of busted in a lot of ways, and like in a lot, like there was a lot of things about it that just kind of sucked, but like the gameplay that was there was compelling and interesting enough that it was worth coming back to, and I feel that way about this game.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna play more of it as more patches come out, and like I think I'm gonna stream more of it today. Today is Friday for those of you who are watching or listening, I guess is the correct term. Because I want to see what all the technology you can unlock is, because I didn't manage to unlock everything yet. So I want to and I want to see if I can get to have like a child in the game and kind of get an idea of what that mechanic looks like. So I'm gonna play it more today, I think, and then I'll probably wait for more updates.
I will say that the tech tree is one of the things I really hated. Just because, like,
I thought it was unique and cool. I really like it, actually.
I really hate it because, like, I want to know what I'm unlocking and why I want to unlock it. It's like, if you're gonna give me a tech tree, cool. If you're gonna give me a tech tree that's very, you build this building and then the next building is now buildable where there's no actual research, that's also cool. But at least tell me what's on there. And I don't like not knowing what's on there. And that's frustrating because I don't know why I have to unlock this tree. And then if you say start bumping into something where let's just say you're lacking a material or a mechanic or something to build something, and it doesn't tell you what's there, you don't know what you have to make in order to unlock the next thing, and they don't always make logical sense. Like there's certain buildings that are required to unlock other buildings, and they don't even tell you what those buildings are, and then it's like, well, there's 8 things here that I have to build. I only have the materials to build half of them. It's going to take me a month to build 2 of these things, and I don't know which of these 8 things is the thing that I need to build in order to unlock the next thing that I need to keep my people from dying. And I think that's a very annoying way of doing things.
So
I just, like, literally just tell me what they are. And, like, a lot of my entire complaint there would go away.
In my first run, we unlocked fishing right in the middle of winter. And so we still died because I didn't realize how clothing worked and that I needed to make a set of clothing for everyone to make it through winter.
Mm-hmm.
And so like people got hypothermia while fishing, got downed, and so we just weren't able to get the fish out. But my second playthrough, I managed to get everybody clothes. However, I wasn't able to unlock fishing, and I couldn't figure out how to unlock fishing again.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just sitting there like, well,
just build one of everything that you haven't built yet. And
like, okay. And the thing is like, you only have 3 people and one of them is a baby.
Yes.
And so it can't do anything. And it's taking up space from your other person. And so in this, like the way that the second most difficult start works. And so you're sitting there and you're like, I haven't even unlocked being able to preserve food in any way, shape, or form yet. How am I going to get through winter?
This is my favorite colony sim concept that I've played since RimWorld.
Oh yeah, it's really. I was impressed by it, honestly, because I don't know. I see a colony sim and I go, oh yeah, just gonna be samey, and like, you know, I'm gonna get bored of it really fast. And with this one, I feel like it really has a lot more potential than they usually do.
My one like major gripe with the UX though is there's no things aren't organized in a logical fashion.
No, not at all.
The UI is like, okay, so Arch, I'm going to tell you about the UI for a second. Arch, if I were to say, build me...
I've watched people playing.
Yeah, sure. But if I were to say, build me a mason shop, where in a UI would you think to go?
Buildings.
Yes, of course. But that's not where you go. You click on... I'm just looking at the game right now. You click on buildings, right? And then from there, you get a secondary menu. And there's no, like, just all workshops button. There's a secondary menu, and you have to click on boulders. And then in boulders, there's another menu. And then in that menu, there's another menu where you can build a workshop for it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't just, like, this game really needs either a search function, like Songs of Six has this wonderful search function where it's just you click on the little magnifying glass, you click that, and then you just type in the name of the building that you want and you build it, and it's super nice. This either needs that or they need to reorganize this UI because everything is like 4 clicks further into a menu than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I agree.
Rimworld's
And then,
a good
like,
example.
it's not obvious. Like, the basic needs tab throws me off so hard because, like, things will just randomly be in that for no reason. It's like, instead of basic needs, you should name that miscellaneous. Like,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
so random.
I don't know. It feels like it's just kind of been a developer that's been developing this game for a while, and they just kind of kept adding menus without any real concept of how they're organized. Like, mechanically, this game's really cool, but my god, that is one of the worst organized UIs I think I've used in the ages.
Yeah. It takes a lot of work to find stuff, for sure, because I would just go through every single UI, like, each menu option, trying to figure out exactly where I can find the thing I need. So many times.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling that this game is going to come up in discussion time and time again on this show, so I'm going to give the very, I was going to say silent, but that's not accurate, stoic Arch a topic. What game would you like to tell us about?
Stoic?
Arch?
Stoic.
Stoic? Really?
You've
That's
been
the word you
gazing
picked for
upon
Arch.
this like nattering of me and Suwey talking about.
I'm just
Clanfolk for
feeling
the
like
past.
No.
I'm just feeling like Suey in a coffee conversation.
Yeah, he's just zoned out, like,
All right,
half
well,
paying
then make
attention.
me
Let's be
feel
real
like
here.
a tea in an applesauce conversation and talk about Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft. I've been playing Minecraft again.
Why?
How are you keeping it entertaining? Are you doing mods at all or anything?
No. Just playing through,
Oh.
chill, building stuff. Built a bridge, named it Bridget. I got an island full of chickens. Just been sort of exploring and having fun in it. Like, you know, they've had some pretty big updates in it. Version 1.18 was the Caves and Cliffs update, and then 1.19 is the Wilderness update, and they're both pretty big, with huge changes to, you know, ore generation, cave generation, and all of that. Bedrock is no longer at 0. You can go to minuses,
What?
like to minus 50 or something. That's as far down as I
No.
got. Yeah. There's entire new biomes down there. There is a new boss down there.
Okay, now I need to play. Hold on.
Yeah, there's a
Hold
lot.
on.
Like
What?
Yeah. No, there's now copper as well that you can mine and make decorative things about with. And no, it's been a lot of fun. We hit the goal to open a community server as well. So I've just opened my own little community server, and yeah, it's just been like a lot of fun, a lot of chill sort of playthroughs, and that's kind of it. I was looking for something chill to play that really didn't add any super stressful things. So I'm actually playing with keep inventory on as well. Like when I die, I don't lose experience or drop items. And it's just been really nice and chill. We've sort of just been hanging out, chatting, and exploring Minecraft. And yeah, it's been
Dude, you're good at selling
fun.
it. That's what I have to say, is you're good at selling it.
Arch has been
Look.
playing Minecraft. Verdict: it's still Minecraft.
Yeah, but that's what makes it good. Like,
Yeah.
Minecraft's strengths are its simplicity and its basically your imagination is what is the major driving factor. Yeah, there's the Ender Dragon and there's Electra and all of that, but at the end, it's your imagination. There is no need to build anything. There's not even a need to build a house, right? You put a bed down, you put a couple of crafting stations, you're done. And yet people build castles, they build all of this, and it is all fueled by imagination. And that's one thing that I've always sort of like loved with these games is Especially when people are like, oh, it's boring, oh, it's simple. It's like, it's as exciting as your imagination can be,
It's
your
like
imagination
playing
and
Lego.
creativity.
It's like
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't
Lego.
have
You know,
creativity.
you could build a castle, or you can put traps down so that when your mom walks into your bedroom, she screams real loudly.
Exactly.
Multiple kinds of entertainment. Sorry, Suey,
I
I
don't
stepped
have
on
that
what you were
kind
saying.
of I don't have that kind of creativity. I prefer more structured games.
Oh, look, I
Structured,
like
building structures for a bridge.
Oh.
I like games with no structure because I just find it easier and more fun to sort of flow with whatever I feel like doing at the moment.
I get bored and I don't know what I can do and I get overwhelmed and then I shut down and go, okay, next game. So, yeah.
Speaking of next game, a game that I was playing for the last 2 hours before this podcast is a little game called Citizens Farlands. Have either of you guys seen or played any of this?
Yes, I have.
Nope.
Seen or played?
I've played.
Okay. So, Citizens Farlands is a little a little level-based town builder, a very simple one with some simple combat in it. That is very much inspired by the game Islanders, I think it's fair to say. But Islanders,
Yeah.
where it would just give you little randomly generated islands, this is actually like a level-based thing. But Arch, you were going to say something?
No, I'm just
Oh,
following you.
I thought you were starting
Active
a
listening.
sentence.
Nah, active listening.
Active listening. Okay. So is that like listening, but you occasionally say things?
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, so it's Citizens Farlands. This is a game that I've actually had in my Steam library for about 6 months. Because the developer popped into my chat one day and was talking about various other things. Randomly, there was a Steam key in my Discord DMs. So I didn't actually play it up until like just now, today, and it released yesterday as of time of recording, for about $12. And it's kind of a neat thing. It kind of has this feeling of game developers' first game in some places, because I know for a fact that it is. But like little things like some menus don't scale very well on my monitor. Some things are just a little off, like you can't mute certain sounds. There's some things about it that feel pretty basic in that kind of way. I think that because the structure of this game is pretty simple. You have a list of requirements in order to beat the level on the right side of the screen, and it'll be like have 10 houses, be producing X amount of water, be producing X amount of pig meat, and be producing X amount of fruits. And then you have to build up a little city kind of in the correct order. And the game kind of works in what it calls a turn-based system. So every single time you build something, the sun goes down and comes back up at the top of the screen and a turn moves forward. So when you build a house, it costs 10 wood, but you then earn all of the materials from all the other places that you have around. Not all of the resources on the map, like trees, trees are not infinite, but certain food sources are. So like farms are infinite and fishing is infinite, but harvesting boulders off the map aren't. So you have to be kind of careful about your building placement so that you don't accidentally destroy one of the tiles on or resource tiles on the map. So it's very much kind of like about placing buildings around. But Arch, what are your impressions of the game?
I actually really enjoyed it until it started getting super complex. Right? So it started hitting those points of you needed to, like, once you started getting into needing the artisans and stuff, and it was like, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that, you need that, you need these, and it just became too many systems that you had to progress to. I actually played it through until I needed soldiers. And so to do that, you need the wood, the stone, the metal, like mines up. You then needed to have farms up. You then needed to supply water to the farms. You then needed to have the stuff to keep the artisans happy, which was the beer and the meals. And then you needed the artisans, you needed the blacksmith, you needed the smelter, and then you could make the weapons. And then you needed to go the whole route to build up the army as well. And I don't know, it just got a little bit too much complexity for me. Like, I really enjoyed it leading up to that, and this is the difference between that and Islanders. Islanders doesn't have any limitations or, you know, like, in any of those pressures of you've got to have it done by this time.
Islanders is not goal focused at all.
Yeah. And I don't know, I felt that it did get like a little bit too much pressure at the end.
Yeah, so you've made it further in than I have then, because I haven't made it to the point where I need soldiers yet. But I can kind of see where you're coming from. Like it's a tricky thing where it's is this the kind of game that I want to think? You know, and I'm not sure if it is. I think that it's a neat little thing, and it's like what, $9. I think that it's one of those games where it's hard to recommend it, just purely because it does kind of feel a little janky around the edges. But I don't know, if you played Islanders and you really liked Islanders and you're like, yo, what if Islanders had combat and like strict requirements and goals and was more of a puzzle instead of kind of a chillax game, then Citizens Farlands is maybe something to take a look at. That's kind of my thought. Any closing thoughts on the game, Arch, or is that pretty much it?
No, that's it. That's it. If you love that type of game, you will love it. It's a beautiful aesthetic. It's got, you know, a great thing. It just gets very, very complex. If you like dealing with multiple spinning plates, then go for it.
I will say, I wish that the tutorial guy didn't make noise when he talked, and I wish that I could mute the talking sounds because he goes blah 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 blah, and it's kind of grating.
Yeah,
I wish he'd shut up. But speaking of things that I don't want to shut up, Suwey, can you discuss Satisfactory?
Yeah, so I started playing Satisfactory on stream.
Was it Satisfactory?
Right before I went on vacation. Yeah, I had a good time with it. I had some small performance issues. It was actually due to not running OBS in administrator mode, and like the way that computers work, it was putting more focus on OBS than the game, and it was just weird. So yeah, but once I got that figured out, I had a pretty good time with it. The only problem is I started like right next to one of the artifact things that you need to get. However, you can't access them right away because you needed to like build upgrades so that you can unlock like platforms to be able to build up to stuff. And I can't access it, so I just keep getting spammed by the game like, you should harvest that resource, and I'm like, I can't reach it. But beyond that, I've been having a lot of fun with it. I didn't really get very far, and then I had a sponsorship to do on that stream, but I'm planning to come back to it really soon. Cool. Yeah, and beyond that, like, I've also been playing some games off of stream with some friends, V-Rising and Raft. So V-Rising I've actually only done on stream so far, but we're planning to play more of it. It's pretty fun. I really like the combat of it. That's like the most enjoyable part. And then Raft, I've been playing with a group of friends, and we're not even at the new content yet because I know like the game just released in full. We're still like behind. But I've been having a lot of fun with that. We've also been playing Fall Guys.
I mean, it's free, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, we all paid for it beforehand, but we've been playing Fall Guys, and that's been pretty fun too, because, you know, you just get a group together and you play for like, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, have a few laughs, maybe win, probably won't, and yeah.
I've never actually played Fall Guys, I'll be completely honest, and didn't buy it, never touched it, just kind of, I don't know.
Same.
Missed that
never
one.
played it. Never played it. Have no interest to.
Kind of.
It's a good game to fall back on now when you're playing with friends
Fall
and you
Guys
just want
on?
something to play really quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it works. See, it's like 1 to 4 players, right? So, like there's special modes where you can have a group of 4 people and you all are on a team. Sometimes they have a 3-person mode going, etc. So it's a good game to fall back on, and I play with a friend who doesn't like the same type of games as I do. They tend to be more focused on shooters. So surprisingly, this is a game that kind of fits in the middle of our enjoyments or our what we want to play, you know?
Awesome. Something that I kind of want to shout out here. Well, actually, two things I kind of want to shout out. These are small ones, though. Starship Troopers Terran Command is a game that I was playing through. I've decided not to finish it. We've talked about it a number of times on this podcast, but it's a RTS, a squad-based RTS in kind of the classic variety. Probably shouldn't have come out this year. It probably should have come out in about 2003. It very much feels like kind of a budget game from around then. In a good way, though. Like, it's charming and it feels nostalgic to play it. And I was really enjoying it. The last two missions in that game, this game is very, very, very rock, paper, scissors in its balancing. You know, rockets beat this type of bug. Certain machine guns beat this type of bug. Laser guns beat this type of bug kind of thing. And the last few missions in that game crank that up to 11, and it suddenly becomes a really difficult RTS game, even on the easy difficulty. Like, you have to multi-manage and maintain map awareness of the entire map, and it just stopped being fun. I remember years ago, I played through the StarCraft Brood War campaign, and I remember loving it right up until the last mission, where I ran into the exact same problem. I'm terrible at map awareness in games like this, and I always kind of hope that they're going to leave that type of map design for the multiplayer. But this game doesn't have that, right? This game doesn't even have a level editor. It's just the campaign. And it's kind of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. And I still kind of feel like it's a good game, and I still enjoyed the 10 hours that I spent with it. And I'm happy that it exists, and I'm glad that I played it, but I think my stance is very much where it was initially, which is I can't recommend this game to you unless you really like RTS games and you really like Starship Troopers the movie. It's gone from being a solid recommendation to a very difficult recommendation for me. I'm very bummed that it doesn't have a level editor and it doesn't have co-op and it doesn't have anything else, because now if this game had a level editor and Steam Workshop or something equivalent, I would drop the campaign at this point and just go play community maps. I would just do that, and I would put another 30 hours into this game because I enjoyed it that much. I enjoy the gameplay that much, but the rock, paper, scissors design and the level design of those last two zones just sucks. It just sucks. It's not fun. So that's kind of my take on, or my final thoughts on Starship Troopers Terran Command.
Okay. I've seen it played. I've not played it myself. Like, I would rather get back into, Red Alert Remastered. But it's been interesting to watch.
Open Red Alert?
Open Red Alert?
OpenRL. There's a open source port of Red Alert and Red Alert 2.
Oh, nice. I'll have to check that out.
It's very good, although it's very competitive, multiplayer focused, but, you know. One other little shout out in a completely different direction. Monument Valley and Monument Valley 2 released on PC this past week. The Monument Valley Panoramic Edition. I always want to say Panromantic for some reason. Panoramic Edition. Apparently they've been releasing games on PC. I was unaware that they made that little game called Alba, a Wildlife Adventure, which FG played and loved, as well as another game called Assemble with Care. I had no idea it was the same studio, but they've put out both Monument Valley and Monument Valley 2 on PC. They're both like $8. They are visual puzzle games that were iOS exclusive for a decade. And it's really nice to see them pop up on other platforms. I played the first one ages ago on my iPod Touch, and it's really nice to see those games get a release on PC, especially in a world where, like, you know, the Steam Deck exists, and those games are just movable desktop backgrounds. They are gorgeous. So if you like really, really, really pretty games with simple puzzles, Monument Valley is an easy recommendation. So check those out if you haven't played those games.
I like pretty games with simple puzzles. That sounds like it's up my alley.
It's literally just like, here's a cool shape, and there's a lever on it, and you click on the lever, and it makes cool sounds as you turn the thing until it lines up, and then you move the little person along the walkway. There are puzzles in it. Like, it does get tricky.
Yeah,
towards
oh,
the
I
end, but,
remember
like, they're cool.
playing it a little bit on phone. So no, it's definitely on my list to check out.
I'm going to be playing through both of them next week, so looking forward to it. Is there any other games that we need to talk about here, or should we take a break and go to news?
We can take a break and go to news. I think that's a good time.
Alrighty then. We will be right back after this short message.
Hi, I'm Arch, and you're listening to the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. This is where I'd put another ad for one of the members of the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. If I had one! Now back to the show.
And we're back. This is still the Halcyon Frequency Podcast, and this is now the news segment. I'm still blind, and I'm still hosting, and I'm with Arch Plays Stuff and Suwey. So this first article that we have here on the list is kind of a follow-up from last week, because there's a thing that I would like to mention specifically. Let's make sure I got the right one up here, because I've got like 10 of them. So Reedpop, as we talked about last week, PAX organizer, as well as Star Wars Celebration and a bunch of other major events such as EGX and New York Comic Con are taking over E3. But there's something that's kind of interesting that that I read after the recording of the podcast last week, which I would like to kind of mention here, which is this quote from Reedpop's CEO, where they say, "We are thrilled to bring back E3 as an in-person event with Reedpop, a global leader in producing pop culture events." Said the ESA president and CEO, followed up by the Reedpop president. The past 3 years have confirmed that E3 convenes our industry like no other event. Reedpop brings this world-class event to keen and understand video game industry, which we will continue to serve the E3 experience for years. And then they go on to say that they are looking forward to welcoming developers, manufacturers, influencers, but they leave out the public. So this to me kind of states that they're going to be building E3 as a press event again instead of a event open to the public, which I think is
sad about it.
Interesting way to do things. Well, technically you're part of press in the industry, so why are you sad about that?
I know, but like the thing is I really like the accessibility of it being online and how anyone can see all of the showcases they want. Are they still going to do like
it's
all
been
of the
online
showcases
since 2008
online and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, all of that has been online since 2008. Why wouldn't it continue to be
I was
online?
unaware of that. I only became super aware of E3 post-COVID. So
So you've
I
never
think...
been aware of E3, got it?
So I think with, especially like with events, with when the pandemic hit, a lot of events realized that they needed to ramp up their online presence, and it's something that I'm fully aware of through my not gaming work. Of basically, there were always, virtual events or digital access, but it was never as much in the forefront as when the pandemic hit. And so it was almost more like an afterthought of, oh yeah, we'll have a camera set up. Whereas during the pandemic, there's been so much work in the production side of things for the virtual event side. And that's it. They will always have a virtual side, but the question is how much production and how much production value will go into it. Will it go back to being just an afterthought with the bulk of time and effort spent on the in-person experience?
Well, I think that we all need to remember what the purpose of these events are, right? PAX is a event that anybody can go to. It is an event designed for the end user, right? It is a place for you to go meet people. It's a place for you to go play video games, and it's a place for games to be announced. But it's a place for games that are releasing soon, that are very playable and finished. E3 is the industry event for industry people to mingle.
Yep.
And one of the big things that I think kind of killed E3 in the last few years of it was partially the existence of PAX and online stuff, but also just why do you need to spend so much money on a huge booth when you can just simply parsec into somebody's house and talk to them virtually for almost no money? I think they kind of realized that these events are kind of cannibalizing themselves to a degree, and the reason to have the entire industry in one city was becoming less. So I guess I'm just really curious to see how Reedpop approaches rebuilding E3 as an event that people actually give a shit about, largely. I mean, like, there's the press conferences, but most of those press conferences aren't even affiliated with E3 anymore, right? And vast majority of them haven't been for years. And, like, this year, essentially, E3 happened without E3 at all. And everybody calls it E3, but it's not. So they need to figure out some reason for E3 to exist as a physical event. And I think the only people that could theoretically do that would be Reedpop. But at the same time, why? I don't know. I'm just...
Yeah, no, I don't fully know either. I hope it stays an industry event, but even then, you know, in a post-COVID world, even industry people are more hesitant to travel a lot, because quite simply it is like the post-con flu, or, you know, as it was called in Australia, the PAX pox.
Yes.
That's
PAX
just
Pox
becoming
Twitter
COVID.
is a good Twitter.
Yeah, that's just becoming COVID now. You know, everyone comes back from a con and they're sick, and it turns out being COVID because people with COVID went. And, you know, I honestly question that. Like, yeah, I expect a few COVID positive test results after TwitchCon as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad talking smack about, you know, getting sick at public events, because, like, you know, one of our team members, Kiri, is at TwitchCon right now.
Yes, and I hope she's well.
I hope she, I hope she comes, she gets out without getting sick. But, like, I would hope that by spring 2023 we got this under control, right? Right?
What? No, I don't think we will.
I don't think it's going to go under control.
Trust me, I think it's going to get worse, and I think everybody's going to ignore that it got worse, and I think a lot of people are going to get sick, and it's going to really suck. But, like,
yep,
yeah,
that
pretty much is what I expect to be honest. Like, at this point, it's like, what can we really fully do? I don't know. That's a whole other conversation. So,
on to the next piece.
Yeah, the next, you know, very, very bright and happy.
Well, I think Unity needs to rename their company to Disunity, or some other opposite of Unity, because Unity is not only an engine provider for many things, as well as a special effects company and a AI company and many other things. They're now also a malware provider. So if you're not putting monetization into every single level of your game's development, you're a fucking idiot. So seriously, Unity has merged with Iron Source, or is merging with Iron Source. If you're not familiar with Iron Source, they are an ads provider, an advertising company that has existed for quite some time, and it is proven that they like to distribute malware. There are many articles on the subject. If you want to go dig them up, just go look up Iron Source. It's hard to not find them. John Riccatello has stated, "We believe that the world is a better place with more successful creators in it," according to his ideas. But what this actually means is they want to be able to make a cut of the advertising revenue in your video game if, let's just say, you put a Coke can in the background. I don't know. Who wants to take the floor with this one?
I'll take the floor with this one, because I thought it was more that it's an ad-serving platform. So, you know, when you play mobile games and you can watch an ad... Okay.
I don't play games on mobile.
You just said you played Monument Valley. Gosh.
When I was a child, over a decade ago. Anyway, go on.
So
I'll
a lot
interject.
of games nowadays are ad heavy, and it's like watch an ad to get double the bonus of this round, or watch an ad to get a free unlock. And that's the whole purpose, to serve ads. That's, from what I've read, that is what Iron Source does. Iron Source is basically, you go to Iron Source and you go, we want to buy ad space. This is our demographic, and that's it, right? That's all you do. You deal with Iron Source. Apps being created will import the Iron Source ad platform, and that's all they will have, right? That will then decide what ads get served to that game. Like, because being in Australia and New Zealand, there's been times where I've been playing games and you click, oh yeah, watch an ad to get something, and it's like, there are no ads for you at this time, because they don't have ads. There's not always got ads. That was obviously a long time ago, and it's changed a lot now. So this is something that normally exists already in a lot of games. It's just been integrated into Unity, so I imagine it will be something that when you're building a game in Unity, it's just a library you import. The issue I have with all of this is, one, Ironforge is not the most reputable or stable platform to be doing that. And the second one is that statement of, if you're not thinking about monetization in your games at every step of the way, you're an idiot. That's true on the surface, right? If you do not introduce monetization or have some idea of monetization in your game when you're building it, and then you've got to tack it on at the end, it's going to be obvious. It's not going to flow well. It's going to be poor. Random ads to click to continue is not that. That is the exact opposite of thinking about the monetization process, because that's just, oh, we'll just chuck in ads, right? Thinking about the monetization process can be, okay, are we going to have a cash shop? What is it going to have? What is the process for that going to be? How is that going to flow? How is that going to affect the player as it goes? That is something that can be understood, right? But if you build a game and then you're like, actually, we need to make money off this, let's go back and hack in this thing that you got to pay for, it won't work well. So on the surface, it's like, yeah, no, that makes sense. You've got to be thinking about how it's going to make money so it feels natural, it fits, and all of that. Throwing ads in at the last minute, or just throwing ads in general, that's not it. And that's where it is. It's like, he says something that you're like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. But what he's doing is actually just the complete opposite. And I understand it, like, you know, we spoke about this. I think you spoke about it on stream. I understand it from a business perspective of...
I do too, from a business
Unity
perspective.
Yeah. Unity going, okay, people are going to serve ads in games. We should own the company that serves the ads, because that's extra cut for us. Boom. Completely makes sense. The problem is Iron Source's reputation. And that's the only issue that I have with it.
There are two main issues that I have with this. The main one is Iron Source being not a company, like, they're comparable to Traffic Junkie. You can Google them if you want, but like they're not the sort of company that you necessarily want to have pinned on your thing, right? And there's a lot of developers who use Unity who do not monetize their game post-sale. There is a lot of developers who do not monetize post-sale. So there's, and the CEO of this game engine publicly stating, if you're not thinking about monetization every step of the way, you're an idiot. He's calling out his entire user base, more or less, with the exception of the mobile side of things.
No, because buy to own or buy to play is monetization.
Yes.
Right?
But his wording is calling out all of those developers, and because this came out right after they're implementing this advertising model, also they just laid off 300 people, by the way, right after they're implementing this advertising model, you're telling people, we now have built-in advertising that we take a cut from. Everybody who doesn't have this monetization in your game, you're an idiot.
Yeah, see, that's
what
the
he's
thing
saying.
where I was saying, that's where I was saying, on paper it sounds good because, yes, but the
On
whole
paper,
thing
it sounds
is
awful, I think, but because if it was on paper, they would have looked at it and realized why that is a stupid thing to say.
Okay, at its core value, at its most shallow interpretation of, if you're not thinking about how your game will make money, you're an idiot. And that is, if you've not decided, okay, it's going to be buy to play, that's fine. If you've decided it's a cash shop, that's fine. If you decide it's going to serve ads, you know, you're a bad person, but you know, you've made that decision. That bit's fine. But yeah, the idea that a game has to always be making money off ads is ridiculous.
The idea that a game always has to be making money post-sale for a lot of developers is also ridiculous.
But making money on the sale is fine too, and that's a monetization thing. Right?
The selling a product is monetization. So if you've sold the product, your monetization is done if that is the monetization you want to implement. The CEO of the game engine that you've been using for the last 8 years to make your game, calling you an idiot for not continuing to monetize post-sale, is unacceptable and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which is why developers should just make their games in Godot or some other engine like Game Maker that doesn't do this.
Yep. No, fully agree with you.
Because it's completely up to the developer if they want to monetize post-sale. That's fine. If you want to make DLC, you want to put ads in your game, fine. It's not acceptable for the CEO of an engine to say, you're an idiot for not monetizing more.
Monetizing more, yeah, no. I do think that if someone was working on a game, one of the first questions I would ask you know, what is the monetization you intend on this being? If they say it's free, that's fine. If they say buy to own, that's fine. If they say microtransactions or a cash shop or a subscription, that's all fine. As long as that thought has been made. The way he said it and the way it comes across and the timing of it all, absolutely wrong.
And hopefully, John Riccatello is one of those people who's been in this industry for a while, and he's not without his controversies from the past. And he's he's kind of like a Bobby Kotick to me, where I wonder how he still keeps getting these jobs. But, you know, it's... I guess.
But there's... Twitch is doing something good.
Yeah. Suwey, do you want to take this one?
Yes. So, fun fact, Twitch is lowering payouts in some regions.
Which means Arch gets coffee money again.
Yeah, so basically, in the past, it was $100 for you to get a payout as a Twitch creator, and now it's only $50. So, smaller creators are going to be getting Twitch payouts more often, which is nice.
Only in certain regions. Currently, it's Argentina, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Spain, and Taiwan. Starting July 15th, which is right now. But this will be extended to other regions as time goes. So,
yeah,
who knows how long that time frame is. But.
They say add other countries through November. They don't go into full detail whether that'll be every country, but I couldn't see it not being.
I mean, I think it makes more sense in some regions than others, but like, I would believe that it'll probably go globally. I mean, a number of months ago, there was that big thread on the user voice thing for Twitch, which was just pay people better, right? And everybody was yelling for better sub splits, which we're never going to get. But the other thing that they were yelling about was bring the payment threshold down to $50. And, you know, to me, like, I'm one of those assholes who just says, you know, if you can't make $100 a month, you shouldn't have a sub button. That's just kind of me being a dick. But on the flip side, getting $50 isn't going to pay your bills exactly. So it's not like suddenly a bunch of people are going to be able to go full-time if they get the $50. But what this does do is it gives a decent amount of encouragement for people that are just starting out or people that are trying to get going again. That's kind of the only benefit I really see out of this.
Yeah, I don't see this as a big revolutionary thing of all of that, but like we'd be remiss to overlook the fact that, 90% of the people who stream on Twitch, if that, are are affiliates, are very small creators, and so this benefits small creators in a very good way. I don't know. I'm for it, and even if it takes creators, like some creators, still a few months to hit, it's a lot closer than $100 if that's the case for them. And really, Twitch lose nothing by doing it.
I mean, there might be some like minor transaction costs, but
I mean, there is currently, but
yeah. Well, in other news, Rune Factory 5 is on PC now. From what I know, it was kind of a surprise launch. And I am a little salty that it happened so soon. I thought it was going to take a lot longer, so I played through it all on Switch. Like, oh yeah, it'll be at least a year. And now it's already out, and it's like way better. And the reviews are very positive on Steam. And I'm a little salty.
are you going to buy it and play it again?
Probably not, just because I've already played through like the whole thing, so I don't have anything I want to do. And yeah.
What about when they inevitably put out a bunch of DLC for it?
When they put out DLC, I probably will.
Grab it when it
Yeah,
goes
that'll
on
probably
sale.
get me.
You were really into it for a while, weren't you?
Dude, I was like on the way towards 100%ing it, but then my audience got bored of it, so that's the only reason I stopped.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been super into that franchise of games since they were on the Game Boy. I think I played Rune Factory 3. I think that was 3DS. I think was the last one I played.
5 is my first one.
You should go back and play the old ones. Honestly, like Rune Factory 4 is on PC and everybody says that one is great.
Yeah, everything I've seen about this. Yeah, I was just going to say, everything I've seen about the current Rune Factory 5 on PC is it's a lot better than the Switch version, which had a lot of frame rate issues and such, but it's still not super great. So I don't know if you're missing out on a lot there by doing it on the Switch versus that. It's from what I've read, like I've had a look through the PC Gamer article. And they were like, it's proved a lot in the fact that the frame rate is uncapped, which I think it deals with the lag a little bit more, which is one of the core issues that I think you and FG also mentioned a lot on streams. Podcasts. But apart from that, it is still like struggling with graphics. It's struggling with UI. You can't rebind keys and such. And yeah, it is very clearly still a Switch game that has been adapted to the PC. Like, it's very much a port. So, yeah, I don't know if you lost out a lot.
You know what this era of Switch ports kind of reminds me of? That weird period of time after the PSP stopped really being a thing, and then suddenly all these weird PSP games from like 4 years earlier got ported to PC that looked like they came out a decade ago.
Oh, I can't wait for the Crisis Core remake.
I mean, I can't wait for Stray, which is out in like 6 days, 5 days, 4 days. Jeez.
There's so many good games coming out right now, honestly, because like the Clanfolk thing just came out. There's I know Power Wash Sim just came out in full release.
Monument
Raft
Valley
came out in full release recently. Yep, Monument Valley. If I go onto my Google Calendar, I'll see even more.
the game that got Lyric banned from Twitch for 24 hours, House Party, just came out of early access. Um, you know, all like Toilet Chronicles is currently trending on Steam, whatever that means.
That doesn't sound like a
Yeah.
good game.
It's a game.
Oh, Endling
apparently.
a game that's coming out when Stray comes out is called Endling Extinction is Forever, which is also a game I've been watching.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a Dinkum is currently in the top sellers list, which looks kind of cool.
Yeah, Dinkum is on my to playlist.
Two playlists.
Yeah, I just love the text of it. Like it really does make me homesick. What does it say? Just G'day. Get ready to start a new fair dinkum life and build your new home out in the bush. Explore tropical eucalyptus forests, scorching deserts, and cool billabongs on an island inspired by the wild Australian outback. Take care of giant wombats, play with friends, and get ready for a ripper time.
Okay, so if you stream this, you just have to crank your accent up to 1,000.
Yeah. I'll go
Yes.
Steve Irwin on it.
Completely overdo it and just be kind of crazy about that.
Does it
Crikey,
actually
thanks for
remind
the
you
follow.
of when you look at like the graphics and stuff and like the world and everything? Does it actually remind you of Australia?
No, it reminds me of Animal Crossing.
I was gonna say it does.
The game looks fun though.
It's co-op
Dude,
too.
I'd be down to
I
play
mean,
it with you. Dude,
Yeah.
we should chat.
We should.
about
I mean, you
playing
are
it.
right now. I know this might come as a
Yeah,
shock
but
to you.
like we should like go into DMs and like plan something out and yeah. I'll send you a DM right now so we don't forget.
That's how
Okay.
this works.
Yeah, exactly.
And definitely what DMs are for. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird week right now, you know, like we just kind of powered through this podcast. And normally this is like kind of a 2-hour show, but we do have one more small news story here. Dark Souls. Heard of this game?
Mm,
I don't like it.
vaguely.
It's kind of niche, I think.
Yeah,
I don't actually like Dark Souls though. It's too dark
Too souly.
That's-
and like
yeah.
yeah.
It's got no soul to me.
I'm not super big on Dark Souls, but I am pretty big on soul music, so I think those are basically the same thing. Anyway, jokes aside about Dark Souls. So there is a lore set that's being released in 2 giant hardcover volumes with a gigantic map. One of the cool things about Dark Souls is its lore is actually like kind of intense, and I do enjoy watching various YouTube videos that are like 4 hours long about Dark Souls lore because they're, I don't know, it's like this fantasy epic, and I like fantasies, and I like big stories and stuff like that, but I couldn't be asked to actually play all of Dark Souls. But the Abyssal Archive is what they are calling this, is a giant compendium of Dark Souls lore, complete with super detailed maps and pictures, and it's just a really neat kind of collector's set that is currently available for pre-order. Keep in mind, this thing ain't cheap, but I think it's neat. I mean, the full set is fucking 495 euros. But the base set, which is just the standard edition, which comes with the 2 books, and the small art book, is 180 euros. And for a hardcover collector's edition that includes all of the lore from such a big series of games, this is kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, people who are willing to pay for it, like really into it, it sounds like it could be good value.
I mean, like, just
Yeah.
hardcover books ain't cheap, for one thing, and for something that is so, you know, I guess ingrained in games culture, this is. I don't like collector's editions for things I'm not big on. Here's the fucking statue and the necklace collection and a whistle and a little map and all that and the steel case for the disc. I'm not into any of that. Like that's a lot of just tosh that'll end up in a landfill. This is like something that would go into somebody's book collection. Like this is a cool thing.
Exactly.
It's like for me buying a soundtrack for a video game on record, because, you know, I'll sit there and I'll listen to it. Like, I would probably read this. Like, I'm tempted to buy this. I just don't really have anywhere to put it, so I'm probably not going to. But it is a neat thing, and I'm glad that this exists. And I'm also gonna plop the pre-order link down in the description of this podcast once it goes live as well, and it's going into the chat room so that we can stick it in there. But just kind of a little thing to kind of wrap up this episode, I guess. Is there anything else we want to cover today, since we're all here?
I have an announcement to make.
An announcement?
Yeah, Arch, he's a dummy.
Oh, I thought you two were getting married.
What?
I was confused for a second there.
Wow.
Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. This has been episode 26. Arch, where can people find you and your stuff? And what are you going to be doing for the next week?
Oh, probably crying in the corner now. You can find me on Twitter at ArchPlayStuff, and you can find me on Twitch under the same name, ArchPlayStuff. This week, I'll actually be doing a special co-op Stardew challenge run. I'll be playing with friend Mal Blue Eyes, who will be introducing me to the world of challenge runs in Stardew, where we'll be running a small B&B. Yeah, that's very interesting, and I'm very excited for that. Part of my ongoing fundraising for the month. So, yeah, check that out.
And Suwey, who the hell are you, and what do you do?
I am Suwey. I play a lot of like indie games, a lot of management sims, a lot of life sims, RPGs, story games, that sort of thing. Lots of wholesome stuff. Yeah, and soon when I graduate, I will be doing a RimWorld run, probably. I'm having my community make a mod pack, so, I actually have to get a mod pack from them first. But I'm going to be doing that, probably. And then I'm also just checking out lots of new games as they're coming out. Yeah, you can find me on Twitch. It's just Suwey, Suwey. And then I'm on lots of other places as at Suwey Streams. So Twitter is Suwey Streams. I have YouTube as well. That one's just Suwey. Yeah.
And lastly, I'm blind, and you can find me at twitch.tv/BLINDIRL and on Twitter at the same name for pictures of my garden and pictures of hiking. And lastly, you can also find me on YouTube. I just did a really big chat with the developers of Dwarf Fortress, which is probably going to be released on Steam this fall, by the way. That's like actually like kind of certain, which is kind of crazy. So that happened. And you can find that on my YouTube channel. It's like a 2-hour chat. It's a pretty good conversation, I think. And yeah, if you want to find more episodes of this podcast, halcyonfrequency.com. If you want to ask us questions for this podcast, which has been kind of a quiet room as of late, you can do that on our Discord. We are hosting a game jam at the end of this month on the 29th to the 1st. I think I got the dates right. Link to join that is in the description, or if you know people who make games, shove it in their face and tell them to join. That's pretty much everything. Halcyon Frequency can be found on Twitter at Halcyon Megahertz. And yeah, that's us. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. We'll see you next Sunday.
Thank you. Bye.
Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Arch, you're not a dummy. I like you.
No, I am.
You are.